Well, here's the tank, and I got the fenders in here too. Yeah, I gotta sandblast all this stuff up, make it all ready for paint as well. So we just got these holes filled for this fender, this Tiger fender. Now I'm gonna work on trying to sandblast it and get some of this original paint off, actually all the paint off, so I can get these parts repainted. This is one of the first things I needed to do, is get these holes filled, because they're inaccurate holes. They were for that extra taillight that was on here originally, but someone changed, because the actual mounting holes are these ones that are reinforced with these panels. So next up, I'm gonna sandblast this. Attempt to anyway. If it don't work, I'll have to use a different way of getting the paint off, like maybe a stripper or something. And then we'll turn around and smooth these down, get these lumps off of here, so it fits the contour of the fender better. So stay tuned, see what happens here. Alright, start sandblasting, of course. So let's see what happens here. While I get this all prepared here. There we go. And then, yeah, stay tuned. Alright, so it's not coming off too bad. It's just mostly the area that got messed up by the heat when this was welded. It's coming off pretty easy. So just I'm going to keep at it for a little bit here, and then we'll see if I can really finish it up with sandblasting, or if it's going to take too much effort. And then I'll just maybe I'll figure a different way out of removing the paint. So, alright, well, stay tuned here. Alright, well, kind of a lot of effort to this sandblasting it with this custom paint that was put on here, and then it looks like it's painted over top the original paint, like I was saying earlier, but the original paint was like this yellowish gold color down here. This is like the original, like Bonneville color that I talked about earlier in the video. But I guess what I'm going to do now is probably put some paint stripper on it to soften up this paint here, make it nice and weaken it, you know, make it nice and soft. And then what will happen is it'll probably be a walk in the park for the sandblaster, then just take it all off. So, well, let's see what happens, I guess. Stay tuned here. Well, sandblasting didn't work too well on cleaning off the paint on these fenders. I didn't even try this one, so I'm just going to loosen the paint up by getting it soft, but with using some paint stripper here. So I'm going to just apply it. You're supposed to like use gloves and stuff, and you don't want it to touch your skin because it can burn your skin. So what I'll do is I'll just apply some on here and brush it on. Cover the whole thing up with it, and hopefully it eats this paint off here so I can have a better chance of sandblasting it. Yeah, so anyway, so stay tuned here as I apply all this stripper to it. There we go, I got it all applied on both the fenders. I kind of saw this coming, but it destroyed this foam brush. So anyway, so hopefully it does something to this paint so I can get it off here easy, so I can get this stuff repainted. So anyway, stay tuned here. Alright, well, I'm still putting some on here, so make it nice and thick, kind of, in a way. I got some coloring coming off onto this brush, so hopefully this is a good sign. So hopefully this stuff can come off. Then I'll wash it off, and then I'll sandblast it again, and hopefully all this paint comes off. So yeah, anyway, stay tuned here. Stripper had a chemical reaction to this fender really well. I'm gonna go wash this off now and clean it with some water, and then wipe it down, let the water dry, and then I'll run it through the sandblaster again and see what happens. I don't want to run in there wet, otherwise it'll just be a cloggy crap mess. So stay tuned as we clean this off here. So I washed some of that excess off, and water just kind of like dissipated off it, and it didn't work very great. So I'm going to use like some diesel fuel here and try to wipe it off with that. Let's see how that does. So stay tuned here. Alright, so using that paint stripper stuff, it really did a number on that fender there. Looks like it was somebody painted over top of rust. So I can't believe that the paint lasted that long. So we're gonna wipe this down, get a lot of this wetness off of here from the diesel fuel, and then we're gonna sandblast it and see how that works out. So stay tuned here. Alright, so I just applied another coat and we'll see what happens. Eventually this stuff will come down to the bare metal and it'll be easier to wipe off. And that one over there, well, either that was, I think that was actually, that was on here was actually red primer. Because when I went to start wiping on it some more aggressively, it started smearing and coming off. So anyway, then when we get all this thick stuff off, we'll be able to sand it, get it ready for painting. So stay tuned here. Alright, so after the second coat here, I end up being able to scrape most of this off here, some of this off here, with the putty knife here. So I'll get all this off of here as much as I can. Then I'll end up putting it in the sandblaster and finish this up and get it down to nice, smooth, paintable metal. And we'll go from there. So anyway, stay tuned while I work on this, and then we'll get back to this and be about ready for painting it. Getting ready for paint. This fender here is stuff's soft enough. It's coming off fairly easy too as well, so that's good. Get most of this gooey crap off before I run it through the sandblaster. And then we have the whole other side to do yet. so anyway, stay tuned here. Okay, so then after the second coat there, I was able to make quite a difference here on making it soft. So I'm going to try sandblasting it again here and see what happens. So stay tuned here. Alright, so I just got done running the sandblaster through here again and cleaned up. It's coming off fairly easy. I assisted it with a scraper. It's not a big deal. But anyways, and I flipped it over and I tried the underside a little bit. And some of the original gold there, the original Bonneville gold color, Harvest Gold, that's coming off pretty good with the sandblaster. So I'm not too worried about cleaning it all up with the sandblaster. But this other purple, pink, or whatever color this is, magenta or something, it was really thick stuff, and the sandblaster just wouldn't touch it. So now it is, so it's a good deal. I came across some dents here and there, like there's one here, and there's a dent down over here. So next time we'll see this fender in this video here, it'll be all sandblasted and nice and metal. But then we'll work on addressing these dents and stuff and see what we're gonna do there. So stay tuned. I'm gonna work on the front fender yet too after this one. So stay tuned. Well, here's the rear fender. Just got done sandblasting it here. And of course there's our spots that we fixed. We gotta clean them up, smooth them out, grind on them a little bit. And then a little dent here I gotta fix. Otherwise, the sandblasting turned out pretty good here. Got it all cleaned up. So this is all ready to be painted. So stay tuned here. I'll work on the front fender now. So the second coat of that stripper stuff works pretty good here. Now I'm going to attempt to sandblast it. See how this turns out. And then probably sandblast underneath of it and see how that turns out. See if it works good. Otherwise, I might have to freaking put some stripper on that too. We'll see. But once this is all done, then I gotta move on to the tank, and then I don't really want sand inside of it, so I gotta really figure something out there. Maybe I'll end up stripping it and not blasting it, and then just hand sanding it. We'll see. But anyway, stay tuned here. When we get to that, we'll deal with that hurdle then. Okay, so I just got done running this through the sandblaster here, testing it out. Looks like it cleaned up the sandblaster started to clean it up pretty good. And relatively easy, thanks to that stripper stuff. And I did a little test on the bottom here, where the original Harvest Gold color was at. And it sandblasted up pretty good. So this won't take too long probably, and I'll be able to get this to bare metal, and then it'll be ready for paint. So next time you see this, maybe it'll be all sandblasted. And then I think we're good. I think there was a dent I came across. Anyways, I'll find it a lot easier once it's all sanded down. I think it's right there. It's right here. But yeah, I can feel it. You'll clean up and then we'll address that. And we'll see what to do there. Otherwise, stay tuned here. Alright, so the front fender here, we just got done sandblasting it up. And it's looking pretty good. All the paint came off. There's a couple spots here and there that should come off though, but other than that, this is going to be ready to go for paint. We got to fix that little dent back there I showed earlier. Actually, that's it. Sorry, that's the one. First I thought there was two, but yeah, that's the one right here. So we'll fix that up. But anyways, should be ready to paint. Yeah, so stay tuned here. We gotta work on that tank yet. So stay tuned. Alright, here's the tank. So before I get carried away with trying to take the paint off, I gotta remove some of these components off here, like the tank badge off this side. Oh, that one's already off. And then the trim here, this is pretty simple stuff here, just like hooks on. And then we'll take the gas cap off, of course, and then the petcocks. So let's remove them too as well. So, but anyways, then I'll be able to start moving some of this paint here off of this tank. So stay tuned. Let's see what happens here. Alright, well these Phillips screws here that hold the badge on are relatively easily broken sometimes, and they get seized up somehow, and it's just hard to loosen. This one here I got loose already, so that's good. But the one over here, I'm gonna try this one out. I don't know if it's gonna come out or not. Alright, yeah, it's starting to turn. Okay, it's getting easier. Alright, well, stay tuned here as I get these badges off. We're going to luck out here. I don't have to do any extracting broken screws or anything, so. Alright, so here we go. Here's the tank. I got the first coat of the stripper on here, and I can already kind of, this has been sitting here for a little bit now, and I can see that the paint's starting to like ooze and run over here. So, let it sit for a few more hours. And then probably apply some more on, and then we'll do a sandblast test and see if we can get this thing to clean up good. So, or I'm going to use sandpaper. I don't really want sand get inside of here, so I got to find a really good plug, or not use the sandblaster. So, still deciding here yet. Alright, so I'm going to make an attempt here on scraping some of this off here. Oh yeah, look at that. It's coming right off here. It's really gummy. Anyway, I think I will let it sit some more and really soak into it some more, and maybe even put more on it if I want to. But otherwise, this will sand right off. Mostly, it looks like. So, stay tuned here. All right, so this has been sitting a while here, and it's kind of like it's working. It's just that it's starting to evaporate off too, so I'm going to apply another coat to it. But anyway, yeah, this next coat should really help absorb in and really eat that stuff up. go. Now just like brush it on here. There we go. Really corrosive stuff. It's not good for skin. So here I am using no gloves, but I'm very mindful of where my hands are at. So right now at this moment. So accidents can happen though, I get that. So using this stuff, make sure you're using gloves. So anyway, let this sit for a while. God, it's just smearing that white off there. Anyway, yeah, this stuff's working pretty good. Okay, so when we come back, I'll be scraping it off a little bit, as much chunks as I can get off, and then I'll test it with the sandblaster. Or, I don't know. Still deciding what to do there. If I can get something to clog this hole good, this one's straight through, because this is how it mounts to the motorcycle. And then the petcocks, well, I block them off too, and then I might be able to do sandblast them, but nothing wrong with hand sanding it. So, stay tuned. Well, with a second coat here, I was able to really scrape it off really good. So I think I'm gonna get the really sticky stuff off as much as I can, and then try to sand it with some sandpaper, because yeah, like I said, I don't really want to get sandblasting material inside there, and it's gonna really gum up the sandpaper. But I may use some something to maybe like diesel fuel or something to kind of get it cleaned off as good as I can. So anyway, so stay tuned here while I work on this, and then I don't know, maybe next time I do a little video on it, I'll have it all sanded down or whatever, but it's just going to be a long process from here. So stay tuned, and maybe you'll get to see we'll just jump to the end result. We'll see. So stay tuned. Alright, so I've been using the stripper on here and scraping off as much as I can, and applying multiple coats, and then scraping some more, and then I'm getting down to the part to where I'm actually getting to see some metal here, and I've been using the wire brush here to actually get some of the paint off here. So anyway, stay tuned here while I finish this up. Well, I got a lot of the paint off here finally. The wire brush really did a number on it once it was all softened up by the paint stripper. Most of the sides are done, and the top's pretty much done here. It's just that I got a little bit of the front here to do yet, on the right side here of the tank, and the tunnel here. It's gonna be hard to get to the tunnel, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but stay tuned here, and this thing will pretty much be ready for paint here next time we see it here in this video. So stay tuned here. Well, here we go. We got the fenders all sandblasted and ready to go. The rear fender here had a little ding in the front part of the fender where it mounts to the frame, but I think we might just end up leaving it, or whatever. The body shop guy might end up cleaning it up. We'll see here. I'll tell him about it. But anyway, we got these parts here smoothed down really well. He'll probably clean it up with some spot putty or something, and then that'll look good. Tank, got it all sanded down, stripper, and then wire brushed it, and then I sanded it. So I got all the paint off of it, and it's ready for paint. Turned out pretty good. Even the underside of it. There was some blue in there. There's a little bit left here of the original blue that was kind of underneath the purple that I couldn't barely get off. So anyways, he'll probably end up cleaning up the rest of the way. Did most of the work for him. So Anyways, here's the front fender. There was a little ding in the back of the fender. I thought it was the front, but it was actually the back. It was back here. But I wasn't able to get it out, so he'll probably just make sure it's nice and smooth and transitions well when before he goes to paint it. Otherwise, this fender is ready to go as well. So, yeah. Well, anyways, off to the body shop. I guess the stuff's going to be going. So, stay tuned, and next time we see it, it'll be all painted. So, yeah, stay tuned. We got the Triumph Tiger parts back from the body shop. The tank, the two fenders got repainted. So anyway, let's jump to it and see what it looks like. Here it is. All nice, different change of color. So anyway, we went from that magenta color to this now, and this is not really the original Triumph Tiger blue, but Triumph Tigers were blue in 1971. And they had a white flash. Tank badges would sit about right here. These two holes are at, and then like you can see in the print here, the tips and stuff of each end. And we follow it up along the top here and come back to a point, and the back of the badge would follow this curve right there like that. And the guy that painted this just didn't feel comfortable in painting flashes on there, and so anyway, I either got to find someone else or I just stick with the solid color here like this. Looks pretty good solid. Maybe I'll just leave it. But also on the Tigers, they had that bottom flash that would come along the bottom. So it followed the contour of the tank badge, like I was saying. Starting here and working its way down, and starting back here and working its way down. And on the top, from there up, and so on. This is the original set of tank badges. It's pretty good shape. If you remember earlier in the video, I took off one that had blue lettering in here, which somebody did. Originally there were this off-white with the black Triumph written in here. Like I said, this is the original set. It's in really good shape for chrome wise and stuff. But later years they changed them up, like they would take all the paint off it and just leave them silver looking and whatever. But anyway, the fender on the front, it had a stripe that would go along the rib of the backbone of the fender here, straight across, white stripe. And the back fender didn't get nothing. So I guess what's next here, we're putting these tank badges on, check it out, see how it looks, and then the chrome strips in the front and the back there, and the chrome ring in the center here that holds it to the frame. This is how you mount this tank to the frame, is just the center section here. Later they beefed up the underneath here and made it to where it mount in the front, because these are notorious for breaking in these older tanks and the vibrations and stuff. So they did a really good job painting this. I'm pretty excited about it. So anyway, this will just sit around until we get ready to finish up the Tiger. We've got all the cosmetic stuff pretty much done now. We got the fenders, we got the tank, we got the side covers and the taillight all painted up and ready to go. So now we just gotta get the engine going, the heart of the thing, get it running, and get ready to start putting it together. So stay tuned here, and next we'll show a little glimpse of what it looks like with the badges and stuff on, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned. Alright, there we go. There's the badges on. Wait a few days now, and put the badges on it. Put the strips on the top here. Of course, it's not down like it's supposed to be because it's not. I'm not holding the tank to the frame, and there's that rubber plug that goes in the top there. But anyways, so that's what that's supposed to look like. And nice shiny gas cap. Another tank badge. It's got some fuzzy here, but it's really good shape for original tank badges. See, it's like an off-white. That's black written in there. This is like the one I took off earlier in this video here. So we had, you know, painted this blue, and kind of like redid the white, but it's too bright. Anyways, these were actually original sets too, but anyway, these look really good, and it's about ready to go on the bike. So stay tuned for more videos coming up, and we'll be seeing this set of tin go on the Triumph Tiger here soon, hopefully. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's pretty exciting what it took to get here with this, but the end result was worth it. Because then that way we didn't have to look at that magenta color no more. Clearly it wasn't my color. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you again soon.